Everybody knows the great games by Magnus Carlsen or Bobby Fischer, but no one shows you this game. This game is so good. It features a queen sacrifice that is so bold that this game is called Gusev's Immortal Game. Yes, that is right. It was played by a Soviet master with the white pieces called Yuri Gusev against his opponent Auerbach, and they were both Soviet masters. But this game was played in 1946, which means there were no Grandmaster titles back in the day. The Grandmaster title was only introduced in the 1950s. So this is a very, very old game, a very classic game that you probably haven't seen so far. So the game starts with pawn d4. c5 is played, and now knight to f3. This is just a Sicilian defense, and the opening is not that interesting. I mean, we just get a type of Sicilian dragon setup, and white decides to play pawn to f4. This is maybe already a sign where the game is headed, and after rook c8, very, very good play so far, pawn to f5. Immediately striking and trying to attack everything. Now, this may be a little bit premature, actually, just a little bit. I mean, what is the best move here? Probably, well, not this, it's just retreating. And that is basically what happened in the game, and this is maybe a little bit premature, but it's still alright. Now, the next move is basically the move that sets the tone for the entire game. Pawn to g4. Now, let's be clear here. This is a completely terrible move. I mean, you're opening up the king. But you have one idea, and this pawn to g5. But black simply has to maybe play h6, prevent this, maybe play pawn to h5, even like try to get in here. You have this square at least. Maybe h6. You can even you basically have to do something about this. I mean, this is also fine. You have to do something about this e5 or this g5 move, but no, knight e5. Now g5 is played, and white is able to push this knight completely back to its home square. And now knight e5 is played, and that is not the best move. The best move was pawn to f6 in this position. Simply saying you're basically already dead in this position. I mean, bishop f8 is the best move, and the position is equal apparently, but this doesn't look equal. Pawn f6 already, if you take queen takes d6 is played. If you take another time, I mean, you opened up my rook towards your king, and my knight is gonna come into the middle. This looks like misery for the white pieces, for the black pieces rather. So this is what white should have played, but instead knight e5. And now black decides to play a move that I absolutely hate. I hate this move, pawn to f6. Ugly, because you're blocking in this bishop. Like, this bishop is just dead now. I mean, at least was open a moment ago. And this knight is never re-entering the game. And if the knight is not re-entering the game, sorry, then the rook is not entering the game, and the king is not castling. Not good. Don't play f6. Bishop e3, b6, and now the knight centralizes into the center with knight to d4. And trying to go here, king f7, trying to somehow get the king to safety. c3, nice move, queen e8, and now a very nice move. Knight goes in here, sacrificing this pawn, and after this, we get king f8. Now, here in this position, queen to b3 would have been better because you're basically already also winning, like this, something like knight to f4, the queen f7, and you know, you're just sitting here, and the game is done. You can resign, it's +10. Yeah, the game's over. Now, the knight goes in, and after this, we have this position already also looking completely devastating. And now white, as you have already seen, plays knight takes f6. Knight takes f6, I would say the first brilliant move in this entire game. The first brilliant move, knight takes f6. Why can you not simply take the knight? Well, then the game is lost. Queen takes here. And after this, you simply win back the knight, and now you're just a material. You're up a pawn, and the king is still exposed completely. And I don't know, you're just completely winning. I mean, the game is cooked. You simply won back the knight. So this is not possible. And after knight to f6 takes, we get bishop to h6. And now king here. And now the next brilliant move. In chess, you know, what is weak in this position? Obviously the dark squares. The dark squares are kind of weak, right? But here's this dark square bishop. Yeah, nah, this dark square bishop ain't it. Rook takes f6. This just died. And this is so brilliant. And because you're basically removing all of the guards of the dark squares. And after this, you know, the dark squares are weak. But where is your attack, right? It's probably just this, right? This is just completely winning. It's crushing because, I mean, you're just here and maybe you try queen e7, but you bring the rook in and you slowly but surely try to make sure to win. This is just completely crushing. But instead, white played this. And the computer is giving 0-0. 0-0. And even after rook c6, the computer is giving 0-0. Let me tell you something. Oh, the computer is realizing plus 1.5. It's not 0-0. It's not plus 1.5. The position is completely won for white. Because in this position, white plays queen takes e5. And the computer slowly begins to realize, oops, it's not 0-0 here. Stockfish cannot even find this move on his own. That is how good this move is. Queen takes e5. You might be saying, what is this? What is this? I mean, let's count the material here. You have this, and we count this for this already. What? We're up a queen, and not just up a queen, I mean, an exchange as well. I mean, what is this? I have a queen and the rook for 2 bishops? That cannot be good for white. Oh boy, it is. Rook f1. The rook in the corner comes to f1. And now you see the point. This rook is constantly threatening mate. The queen, for example, moves, let's say, here. And then we do nothing, and the queen moves here. And we go check, and the queen moves, I don't know. For example, the queen goes away. And you obviously have this mate, right? That is the point. So either the rook or the queen is completely bound. And also, this is never getting better. How is black ever moving the king, not let alone the pawn? Like, how is that ever happening? That is just not happening. That is not what's going to happen. So this rook is out of play. So if you remove the rook out of the equation, well, you're still up a queen for 2 bishops. I mean, come on. No, this is really good. And after rook to f1, okay, black realizes, right? I have to kind of stop this, and I want to use my queen, so maybe I go back here. I go back. This is a fine move. Let me just quickly see what the engine thinks you can play. Weird moves, right? Weird moves. So let's just remove this again. He goes back. Seems like a very nice idea. Just simply the idea is, okay, you can now move your queen because this is protected now. Bishop to d1. Bishop d1, let's say the queen moves somewhere. Queen, bishop here. Uh-oh. Let's say the rook moves. Plus 10. Just simply bring this guy in. The game is lost. He goes here, for example. You can push. Taking this rook. It's mate. This bishop here on this diagonal is the killer. And that is the point of bishop to d1. So black, basically the only way to stop it is going rook c4, bishop here, and then this, and giving the exchange. Now, in this position, white actually makes a mistake. Bishop takes c4, and the computer is realizing it. And after b takes c4, the game is a draw. Because after pawn to b3, which is played in the game, black has the resource of this, pawn a5. That is what you have to play, the black pieces. Point being that white, that black is actually able to create counterplay against the king over the dark squares. And the passed pawn here is you're not able to create the passed pawn here very easily because you're technically, but then white goes here and already threatens this. And then your king is kind of in trouble, right? And this is why it's still difficult, but it's possible. It's possible. Now, after b3, what happened in the game is pawn to a5. And this, in this particular variation, although this is double pawns, is not winnable. And here we see a couple moves. Queen to d7 And now again, a very nice move, king to g2. Simply saying, king g2. Queen goes to a6. And now we bring our rook up to f2. And still, even in this position, again, rook f1. And we just shuffle a little bit. And now c5. And the game is basically done. It's basically game over. Because now we just push the pawn. And in this position, black resigns. What a beautiful game. I mean, what can I say? What can I say about this game? If you enjoyed this game, if you enjoyed this analysis, hit the like and subscribe button right now. I want to see you in the next video. If you want to get your chess games analyzed, click the first link in the description. No, in the bio actually. And I see you in the next video.